Welcome. I'm proud to welcome you to the Haifa R&D and Innovation Center near Atlit in Israel. We will start now. First, I would like to thank MASHAV for the opportunity to present our approach regarding to the efficient solution for plant nutrition, the Haifa approach. Just a moment. I'm not. Okay. Okay, technical. Okay. Our webinar. Yeah. First, I would like to add that we will spare a few minutes in the end of the events for a question that you may have during the webinar. Then the webinar will be divided to two parts. The first part will be a presentation, and the second part of it will be a virtual tour that we will carry out here in the Innovation Center of Haifa. Then we will refer in our presentation to the Haifa Academy, to the Haifa approach concept, focusing on nutrient use efficiency, optional fertilization scheme for various cropping systems, the Haifa range of pioneer product. We will go over and we'll demonstrate those solutions through an example for potato crop. I will refer a bit to the Haifa NutriNet and the innovation solution that we have for better nutrient use efficiency. Haifa Academy is one of the platforms that Haifa creates for fulfill its commitment to the sharing knowledge. It is one of the values of Haifa. Haifa approach is referring to the, it's taking into account and consideration the needs and benefit of the both growers and crops. Secondly, we are aiming in our solution to maximize nutrient use efficiency and for those solutions that we are offering, we're always looking for a new product and innovative products in order to support those solutions. All those three are merged. We are referring to what we call the sharing knowledge. It is the merging layer between the three, sharing knowledge. Nutrient use efficiency. We are referring here mainly because we are in the last 7 decades, we are facing a decrease in the farmland that it's available for farming, actually. And the farmland per capita is reduced significantly in those years. And we are looking now for a way in which we can increase productivity in all their solutions and the technologies to increase productivity. It means that we need to produce more with less resources. The increase of agricultural productivity can be carried out through 3 main fields. First is irrigation. We all know that drip irrigation is 2 to 4 times more efficient than flood irrigation, that it is the most irrigated area of the farmland. Secondly, it's a field of fertilization in which Haifa contributes for many years to this field. And here we need to refer to the utilization rates of the NPKs. We know that the N is only about 50%, of phosphorus about 20%, and potassium is only about 50% efficiency. And the third field is to improve the cultivars. It means to look for a higher potential varieties of the different crops. When we are looking for the ways to intensify the farming and increase the productivity, we need always to consider and to take the implications idea, because we know that where we are using more fertilizer and things, we can suffer for contamination and gas emissions that affect the global warming and the soil degradation. The processes that are mainly responsible to those losses, and here we are referring mainly to nitrogen, but also to phosphorus and potassium, the main NPKs. First is leaching. And we know that big part of the nitrogen applied can leach to the underground water. The second one is valorization of ammonia mainly from application of urea broadcast. We also can suffer mainly, we refer to potassium and phosphorus from fixation in soil, and then the elements are not available for the uptake for the plant. And also from runoff, maybe mainly when we are suffering of heavy rain, we can have a wash of the fertilizer out of the fields. When we just mentioned the gas emission, and this is very much connected to mainly to the ammonia that can be volatilized after a broadcast of urea. We're talking about nitrous oxide. And here, those phenomena, the climate change affects crops cultivation mainly because they are exposed to a various and biotic stress, mainly heat, extreme heat and drought wave. In order to improve the nutrient efficiency, we need to work in combination of enhanced efficiency products. We are referring to control the fertilizer, and also to water-soluble fertilizer, and also to application method. Here we can refer to nutrigation and foliar nutrition as advanced ones. While doing it in both and together, we can ensure reducing the environmental impact of intensive farming. In this chart, we can see a trial that was conducted here in the Innovation Center of Haifa, here in Athlete. And we can see here that we have three types of urea application for urea. One is coated urea, the blue line. Second one is urea applied through top dressing on soil. And the green, it's urea that was applied through fertigation. We can see that both the coated and the one that was applied through fertigation, we have less losses. That in the regular applied on soil, the losses is very important. And we can see that within 10 days, we can lose a big part of this urea. This chart to the left side, we can see how the system or the way we are using for applying the fertilizer are affecting, and the cropping system are affecting their productivity. Here in this case, tomato crop, you can see the average, world average on the left side. But when we are going to the open field in fertigation, we have some increase. And when we are going all the way to the modern greenhouse and fertigation, we can increase very much and go up to 70 kg per square meter. On the right side in the chart, we can see the micro-irrigated area that we have. And today it's about 14 million hectares from the total irrigated area. And from this area, it's only 6% of the total irrigated area. Now, here I want to make a remark and to say that even today, even in those irrigated area using micro-irrigation, mainly drip irrigation, most of the farmers are not doing real nutrigation, and they are using the system mainly for irrigation or maybe for application of nitrogen. And I think that we need to increase the awareness among farmers and consultants to this issue, because those systems are very expensive, and we need to make any good and beneficial use of those systems. In another trial that was when we have started about 4 years ago, dealing with the losses of nitrogen, we conducted a trial in cooperation with Professor Aviel Zur from the Technion in Haifa. And here we refer to the losses through volatilization of ammonia. And here again, we have three types of urea. Urea regular without any treatment, coated urea, and urea that was treated with urease inhibitor. And here you can see again that the urea coated and the treated urea with inhibitor, we have less losses compared to the regular urea applied on soil. And here within 1 day, we can lose, in this case, we are losing about more than 12% of the applied nitrogen through volatilization. Then it means that when we are using the right product and the right solution, we can ensure higher yield, increased productivity, better quality, and also to enhance stress or plant in front of stress tolerance. And also we can protect better the environment, reducing pollution, minimize contamination of the underground, and use better use of land and water. Actually, Haifa, since its foundation more than 50 years ago, is referring to the nutrient efficiency. First, it was done through the production of potassium nitrate. It was the first company to produce it in large scale. Potassium nitrate was the first soluble fertilizer to be used in nutrigation. In a trial that was conducted in southern Israel, it was in parallel to the implementation of the drip irrigation by Netofim. And secondly, in the mid-90s, Haifa became also one of the leading supplier of controller-release fertilizer that is very enhanced fertilizer. And this also contributes a lot to the improvement of the nutrient use efficiency. Then the solutions that Haifa is offering and the products are referring and addressing the needs in the open field and protected soil growing crop and soilless greenhouse. It can be for annuals and perennials crops, as well as orchards, and on different substrates, like it can be, and also hydroponics. When we are coming to prepare a fertilization program or scheme, we need to consider 4 main points. First, the product composition or the formula. It should be fit to the needs of the specific crop we are dealing with. The application rate, it's also depend on the growing stage that we are applying the fertilizers. The application time or the timing, because we know that we are normally dividing the cycle to 4, 5, 6 growing stage. In each growing stage, the requirements is different, and we need to choose the right time, the right amount, and the right timing. And the last thing is the placement. And here, the new and advanced method, just like the controlled fertilizer and the nutrigation, we can bring the nutrient just next to the root zone. In this case, we can wait for better efficiency and absorption by the plant. Here we can, in this chart, we're referring to the importance of the balanced nutrition. We can see on the left side, when we're applying only nitrogen, we can see the absorption. But when we are adding to this nutrition also potassium and magnesium, we can see that the absorption of nitrogen and efficiency is going up. And here we can see clearly why it's important to conduct a balanced fertilization program. In this chart, we can see that each crop, in this case in potato, has a specific and nutritional requirement. And we can see here the main NPKs, phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium, and we can see how this the uptake changed along the growing cycle. When we are referring to the combination the solutions, then normally we are not using a single solution, and normally it's become in combination of 1 or 2, at least 2 combined solution in order to address the nutritional need of the crops. And this can be done through granular fertilizer applied on soil, pre-plant. It can be done by controlled fertilizer as a soil application before sowing in case of controlled fertilizer, we'll see it later, it can be also enough to provide all the nutritional requirements all along the growing cycle. Nutrigation is a very advanced method in which we can split the application of the fertilizer, and in this way to avoid and minimize losses. And foliar nutrition is very efficient in some critical stage along the growing cycle. In this table, we can see about 7 different combinations of those product and solution. And we can see that we can have all kinds of combinations that can address the needs of any crop's nutritional requirements. For those, in order to be able to use those advanced irrigation method efficiently, it's very important to use the right product and the quality. And here Haifa is offering a wide range of products, complete. All of them are contain only nutrients. They are free of chloride. It's very important for marginal soils. And it's pure nutrients, and also the quality of them are approved already. And all this is ensuring efficient uptake of those fertilizers. Polymer coated, or what we call here a coat N in this case, or Multicote Agri, those products are based on the Multicote technology of Haifa, and those products provide a continuous nutrition throughout the growing season. And here in this chart, we can see it clearly. We can see that in the chart, we can see that when we are applied in the grease line, when we applied a traditional fertilizer on soil, we can see, even if we make it in splitted application, we can see that we can go up in concentration of the elements in soil, but just after it, we're going very, very low, and then again up and low. Then when we are going up, in many cases, we can also stress the plant because of too high concentration and salinization of the soil. And this is affecting the normal growth of the crop. But when we are using the yellow, the yellow graph, the controlled fertilizer, we can ensure a gradual release of the nutrients all along the growing season without having this kind of up and down that we have with the traditional fertilizer. Nutrigation, just to mention, it's a combination of nutrition and irrigation. And this is having it to optimize the amount and the timing. This is assure a continuous supply and with minimize the losses. We also, in this way, we can bring the nutrients just next to the root zone. We can apply the drip line just to the root zone of the crops. Uniform distribution is very important in the cash crop, and when we want to go up with productivity and reduce losses due to leaching and contamination, because we can control, we are making a very splitted amount of fertilizer each irrigation, and we can avoid this contamination and leaching. And also we have a very high flexibility using this application method. Then we Haifa has a wide range of products that cover all the needs of the plants. It's including micro elements and secondary for those for a full nutrigation. For the nutrition, as mentioned before, we are using it mainly as a complementary fertilization, mainly in critical stage, or when the plant, the root system of the plant are not performing in well conditions. It can be in cold weather or lodging of water. And then we can feed the plants through the leaves and to bring some amount of nutrients directly to the leaves, to the plant. It also can be used for boosting the growth in some critical stage when the absorption is very high and the root system are not, it's not absorbing enough. And also for making a correction when we are going to a deficiency situation, the fastest way is for nutrition. We can get the effect within hours of the application. In this Here, I want to mention the bonus. That is a special product that was developed by Haifa, adding some additive to the soluble fertilizer, in this case, potassium nitrate. And we can, in this way, to improve the efficiency of the foliar penetration and prolong the nutrition of the foliar nutrition. Here, just mentioned before, the stress that the global warming is causing, exposing the crops, and the biostimulant that Haifa has recently entered this range of products are used in order to relieve those stress that cause just like heavy heat waves or drought, and those products can be very helpful on this. And now I will go to an example of a digital program. And here in this case, it will be for potato. And here we can see that Haifa has for this crop, for instance, six different optional combinations of solutions. I will refer to the option number 6. And here we are talking about a combination Multicote Agri Control Release Fertilizer applied as a preplant and top dressing through Nutrigation using the polyfeed of Haifa, different formula of polyfeed, as well as the Haifa Cal, calcium nitrate, and magnesium nitrate. Here, this program and the Haifa always are conducting trial and research in order to approve those solutions. And here it was a trial that was conducted in northern part of Italy and research for agricultural research. And here we can see 4 treatments. One of them is the traditional one, soil application, and then Multicote Agri alone. And the 4th one was a combination that we are referred to. And we can see here in this chart, we can see that the T4, treatment number 4, is with the highest yield and also the highest quality, the portion of the bigger tubers. In this, I also want to take this opportunity to just mention the Haifa NutriNet. This is an expert software for preparation of fertilization program, mainly in irrigation, but we can also combine a best threshing application in those programs. These programs is bringing to you all the knowledge that was accumulated in Haifa for many years, our recipe and programs for many, many crops. It's very easy to use, and one important thing is the program that we can make and modify the program according to what's happening actually in the field. It means that it's very much responsive, and we can add throughout the growing season soil analysis, water analysis, and tissue analysis in order to make the program more accurate, saving money and less contamination to the environment. And the most important thing, the software and service is free of charge. And here we can see just in 2 words, a short questionnaire that you need to follow in order to enter and to create your program. And this is what here, for example, this program that I prepared for the potato crop. With this program, you can see the requirement table divided to base dressing and nutrigation. We can see that we can add, in each stage, we can add the water input and to make the program more accurate. And in the end, we are getting a clear instruction, how much fertilizer, the type of fertilizer we need to dissolve and to inject each cubic meter in order to bring the right amount of fertilizer to the field. Haifa always are very much aware of what's going on with the regulation and the restriction that we have from time to time in the market. And here, for example, we are referring to the restriction of the usage of nitrogen, mainly of what we call white urea as a broadcast application. And for this, we are producing a new solution that we called, it was recently created about 2 years ago, what we call the coat and dual. In this case, it's urea coated and treated with urease inhibitor, both, in combination of both, that actually we are not applying any white urea in this application. And here in the chart, it's also a trial that we conducted in the research station in the north of Italy. We can see clearly that in the application of Haifa, in the bar on the right side, we are reducing the top dressing because the normal application fertilization is based on base dressing and 2 top dressing, and we are in our solution, we are going to 1 top dressing. And in the last column, we are only for 1 shot. It means 1 application. In this case, we are incorporating the product into the soil, and the farmer that has the ability to do it can save a lot of headache because in 1 shot, 1 application, they are providing all the requirements of the crop all along the season. We also are protecting a lot and saving contamination by reducing the amount of application. Because, for instance, in the south of France today, they are limited to only 180 kg of nitrogen, units of nitrogen per hectare. And by doing it, we can go to 180, but the crop will see and will benefit much more than the regular or urea that applied on soil. Here we can see a few parameters of efficiency of nitrogen, and we can see that the 4 treatment is scoring the highest score in all those parameters. Just to go to the conclusion, then we can conclude that nutrient use efficiency enhanced nutrient use efficiency is crucial in order to increase the productivity of the crops and to address the challenge of food security. And today, even more than in the past, we are referring to the Corona time. And we see that the customized solution, combined solution, can ensure a nutrient efficiency that leads us to higher productivity. And the benefit of all this is higher use in nutrient efficiency, and we can, in this way, to address the needs of the crop as well as of the environment. Now we are inviting you to the tour that we are going to carry out in the Aaronson farm. Just
הוא ממשיך עם האוזניות.
לא, אבל הוא צריך לסגור פה, לא?
לא, לא.
אוקיי.
שנייה. שופר לזום. יוצא מהשאר סקרין מוד. share screen mode. Stop share.
אולי אתה תעשה את זה. זה לא שום סתם. תראו אותך, זה נכון.
אוקיי. We can now in the Haifa Innovation Station in the Aaronson farm. Haifa, one of the values that keeps our leadership in the market is pioneering and innovation. And here we can see in this installation facilities in the farm, we are carrying a wide research. We are using it in order to support our solution, to rebuild the information that we are offering, to close the gaps of information, and also to check and to test new innovative products in order to bring them to the farmer and creating a new solution to the farmers and the crops. The facilities in this farm consist of open field crops that we can see on the left side, as well as a greenhouse, a modern greenhouse equipped with all the modern cropping system and monitoring system. Just I would like also to refer here that this site was actually founded about 100 years ago, in 1910, by the agronomist Aaronson. That was the man who discovered the MR wheat in 1906. In the other part of Israel, the MR wheat was actually a domestic wheat variety that today we are continuing to investigate it here in the farm in order to take on their genes to improve the domestic, the new and the actual varieties of wheat. Here you can see the plot of the avocado. This avocado plantation from the first day was fertilized by controller is the fertilizer, and this is a plantation of the 2 years old. And you can see that plants are the trees are big because the controller of the fertilizer allowed a continuous supply of those nutrients, and these are improving the growth, and also we can make growth the bearing trees within shorter time, almost 1 year less. It can be in 3 years instead of 4 normally. Those plots we have here on the left side, a citrus plot. This is the O variety, and this plot we are using for testing foliar nutrition. Actually, we are also adding to those foliar nutrition biostimulants, and this in order to improve the growth quality of the citrus. This plantation on the first day, this also was fertilized by control release, fertilized alone, one single application at the springtime and no other, and only water afterwards. The single application that can last for 8 months. Yeah. Okay, we are here. We will go now from here towards the greenhouse, and here I will hand it over to my colleagues Aviel Zur, who is the R&D Agronomist of Haifa, and we will continue with you the tour inside the greenhouse and we'll show you what we are doing actually inside.
זה דידי, נכון? דידי משהו. You can hear me now?
No?
זה דידי אקסטרה?
לא, זה הרמיד. הרמיד משהו? הרמיד זה...
הנה, זה לא.
הרמיד?
שלום. רגע, איזה אוזניות שמת? את של מי?
את שלי בעצם. מה קודם?
נו, שומעים, כנראה שומעים אותך.
דבר רגע. אוקיי. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Okay, so my name is Aviel Zur. I'm Haifa R&D Agronomist here in Aaronson Farm. We're standing in front of our greenhouse facility. This greenhouse, Haifa uses this greenhouse for initial experiments and development for our products and new products we want to develop in the future. So let's head in and start the tour. Okay, so this is our greenhouse. This greenhouse is fully climate controlled through a meteorological system. We have here a station, and it's all automated. We have a thermal screen help us to control also the radiation and also the temperature. And we have a pad and vents on the other side in order to cool down the greenhouse, all automated. Also, we use here only, we grow here only soilless in order to control the soil. We use substrate, inertic substrate as a silica sand or a perlite or rock wool. In some experiments, we use blends of soil, but for specific experiments. Also, we use here a reverse osmosis water in order to control the water we irrigate with, and that all the three things give us the ability to control our experiments in the best way. So we have here 12 experiment system. Like I said, all of them are soilless, and we'll go through the different experiments, and I'll talk to you about the solutions we are looking for the growers and the new development we're doing here in the greenhouse. Okay, so this system is a 500 liter box with a substrate that's perlite. It's inertic, and we have fully control on the soil. And in this experiment, what we are looking at, we are checking a water-soluble NPK foliar application on a base on a fertigation. What did that mean? It means that we fertigate regular, but in addition, we give a water-soluble NPK enriched with silicon that's supposed to help the post-harvest of pepper fruit. And we have here different treatments, different varieties, and with the fruit will ripen, we'll take it to the lab and check the thickness and check all kinds of post-harvest parameters. The next experiment are same boxes, but here the substrate you can see is sand, silica sand, pure sand, goes for the glass industry. Also an inertic substrate that help us to control the experiment. Here you see commercial tomatoes under drought stress. And what we check here is the application of the foliar application of water-soluble NPK enriched with different biostimulants that's supposed to help the plant to cope with abiotic stress. Specific here, the plants went under drought stress. Just to show you what a fertilization system we use here. So we use injection pumps of the company of Tefen. If you come closer, you'll see. We have a stock solution with the fertilizer and an injection pump that I can fix the dosage and the doses of the percentage I want it to inject from the stock solution into the irrigation system and then into the drippers straight to the plant. This experiment you see here on the left side is a half soilless growing. You see perlite sleeves on top of soil. This is a common growing medium in different countries, half soilless. Specific this experiment, we're checking and comparing between different microelements and to see advantages of chelated microelements in comparison to sulfuric microelements. So this is this experiment. And on the right side, you can see this is a long-term experiment, the only long-term experiment we do here. Blueberry plants, right now on harvest time, very delicious. And right now, what we're checking here, we're looking for a solution for growers, blueberry growers. And blueberry growers, they need to acidify the soil. Blueberries are varieties, they need acidify medium near the root. And in order to acidify the soil, growers inject into the irrigation system acids. And in order to first of all, injecting acid into the irrigation system could be dangerous. The grower need another tank for it, another system. And we are looking for a solution for growers to acidify the area of the root without using any acid. In this experiment, we know that the plant has two nitrogen components that he uptakes. One is ammonium and the other one is nitrate. Ammonium is a cation, nitrate is the anion. And with the plant uptakes ammonium, he acidifies the root area. So we give the plant here a high ratio of ammonium, and we can see in the drainage and also in solution extractors that it takes down the pH of the soil, and also we get much more yield and a better development of the plants just by using a formula that has a high ratio of ammonium without any acid. Let's continue on. So until now, you mostly have seen experiments with water soluble fertilizers, but part of the products and line products Haifa have is Multicote Agri, is CRF, controlled release fertilizers, small granulars that you apply once at the beginning of the growing season. And this Multicote Agri has an NPK with microelements, and you apply it in the soil. And specific, what we check here in this pepper plant is to check in the CRF formula different phosphorus sources and to see if there's any advantage for a specific phosphorus source. So this is CRF experiment. Like I said in the beginning, you can see the pad, the wet pad here, and the reverse osmosis system we use here in order to purify the water and to have a fully control on the water we irrigate here. Here you can see the same experiment as you've seen in the pepper. It's CRF experiment, but here we're checking a potassium source in a CRF formula. We're comparing between two different potassium sources in a CRF formula to see if there is any advantage for a specific potassium source. But not only vegetables we check here, we also do experiments on ornamentals. You see here Photinia plants. And if we continue on, we will see Verbena and more ornamental plants. And here we're checking the best fertilization program for growing this specific ornamental plants. Like I said, we also do here research and develop new products. And part of our development, we check all kinds of new products. Here on the left side, we're checking a plant extract that's supposed to help a plant cope with different abiotic stresses. Specific here, we gave the plant drought stresses. And the application of this plant extract is also checked foliar, but also through the water, fertigation. So until now, we saw substrates and we saw soil, but this is a hydrophonic system, NFT nutrient fill technique that gives us the ability to check also this kind, the ability of fertilizing this kind of growing method. This is actually a recirculation system of water that is pumped from a tank into these canals. And the water is a shallow water on the surface on these canals. And if you come closer, you will see that the water comes out from the canals, drains into a tank, and recirculated back into the canals. if you see all of it, no soil, only water. And here, in this kind of growing, we need to have a full control, because any mistake, you'll see it immediately on the plant. So the tanks sit on scales. Inside we have EC meters and temperature meters that we have and can see online and have a fully control on the experiments we do here. On the left side, I would say maybe the most advanced system we have here in the greenhouse. This system called plant array. And this system is a system that's actually, I would say, a plant AKG that can monitor the plant online and give us a online real-time different plant development parameters, also yield parameters, and also water physiological parameters. If we come closer to the screen, I don't know if you can see it, but actually here you can see the graph, and this is online. I can see the daily transpiration of a plant online. I don't know if you see it there okay. And on the right side, you can see a thermal camera that are taking pictures of the plants and give us another parameter of the stress situation of the plant. By the temperature of the leaf of the plant, I can see on what kind of stress the plant is. This system is good mostly for checking how plants cope in different abiotic stresses. And right now we're checking here a plant extract that is supposed to have the plant cope with a drought stress. Experiment here is usually between 4 months to 6 months. And after 6 months, we have already enough data to understand if we have any positive trend or positive effect of the plant extract on the plant under this abiotic stress. So this was a tour. This is a greenhouse. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, you're pleased to write them down, and we'll answer.
Okay. Gad, Aviel, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello.
Aviel?
Wait. Do you hear me? Can you hear me? Gad, Aviel, can you hear me?
In a second, we'll hear. In a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Bit of patience, please. Okay.
Okay, you're ready. So,
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear? Can you hear Evelyn? Evelyn?
Yes.
אני שומע.
Good. Okay, there are some questions. We have a question from Burka. If you can a bit more explain about nutrient mobility and how mobility affects uptake. To hear?
Yeah. Then if I understood, you are saying as how the mobility of the elements in soil are affecting the uptake. Okay, then as I mentioned, is when we are bringing the elements close to the root zone, we can facilitate their absorption, and the plant need to invest less in their uptake. Then in this way, we can ensure a higher absorption of those elements and avoid their fixation or leaching from soil.
When would you say it's the right time to apply fertilizers, these fertilizers?
The right time to apply the fertilizers is depend in which solution you have chosen, because as we saw in the presentation, we have a different combination of the product and application method. And this is mean, if you want to one single application, then it's better to go for the control release fertilizer that we saw that we can apply just one time as a prep plant, and this application will provide the plants a continuous supply of nutrients.
Okay, thank you. Could you tell us a bit of disadvantages of nutrigation? This is a question from Nixon Lucky Dump. You can see there the question, Omar, you can see there?
There is more.
Gad, you hear me?
Yeah, now yes.
Oh, okay, so one question about disadvantages of nutrigation. Are there any disadvantages?
In principle, if we are doing a very good irrigation, following all the guidelines of irrigation, then it's only a beneficial method, because we can split the applications. We are bringing the elements next to the root zone, avoiding leaching, and it's only beneficial. I cannot see any disadvantage if we are doing it in a good manner. For sure that if you are irrigating in excess and you have elements inside the water, then those elements may leach out of the root zone. But in this way, it is very important also to make the right frequency of the irrigation, the right amount of water in each irrigation. In this way, we can ensure a high efficiency of the water as well as of the elements that we are applying through this medium.
I don't know, I couldn't hear you exactly, but what about clogging? Can we have a problem of clogging of the drip system?
Okay, clogging is an important issue, but is very much related to the purity and type of fertilizer that are used. Because from my experience of more than 30 or almost 40 years cultivating crops, if you are using the right and pure fertilizers and acidifying the irrigation water to the level of a pH of 6, for instance, then there is very little problem of clogging. And as you know, there are some products, acids, and guideline how to treat the equipment in order to keep it its life for longer time. Just in the end of each growing season, you can increase the higher level of acids, and in this way you can keep the equipment for longer time.
Thank you, Gad. There are some questions about soil moisture. Can you tell us a bit about that? What type of instruments or sensors are you using for measuring moisture content in the soil or substrate? Can you show us something there?
Okay, here actually we are using for monitoring what we call the soil extractors. It's for sampling the soil solution, and we have even here an implement that's doing it automatically. We can synchronize the absorption, the uptake the stocking just after irrigation, about 3 hours after irrigation. And this solution, we can check for the content of the elements as well as for the pH level. And this is actually we are doing in the trial that Aviel showed you in the blueberries. We have them installed there, and we are monitoring the pH level, especially in order to see how this the combination or the ratio between ammonium and nitrate is affecting actually the pH of the soil and the surface.
Thank you. Thank you. John Rohit is asking, what are you checking in experiments? There is perlite on the top and soil below. What are you, can you tell us a bit more about the experiment, what you are checking there?
The experiment with the perlite?
Perlite on top and soil below.
Okay. The one that's combined. Okay, this is actually a growing cropping system that we saw and became quite popular. We saw it mostly in Almeria in Spain. And there they are putting these slabs of perlite, this in order to improve the first growth stage of the plant. And here we have like a combination of soilless and soil. And as you know, the absorption, because the roots, they are still inside the slab, can absorb more easily the nutrient in comparison with what we have in soil. And in this combined soilless and soil, we can ease the growth of the plant, and also to save some cost, because to go all the way to a substrate, it's costly. And here we can just with a slab that is quite inexpensive or cheap product, we can have the advantage of soilless and soil in both, because also in soil we have some advantage compared to substrate, because to manage it more easily than a substrate. And this combination is very interesting, and as you can see here, the pepper is going very well there, as you saw.
Thank you, Gad. Okay, we have here a question from Christian. Well, you spoke about potatoes in your presentation. Do you have more specific receipts for other crops? For example,
Yeah, for
40 crops, and where can they be found?
Okay, then we have two main sources for our recommendation or recipes for the fertilization. So one is in the Haifa website. You can find the crop guides for the main crops, just like potato, grape, and others. A full and details guidelines for these crops. And also in the nutrient that I show you. And then you can go in to sign up. And after we are signed up, you can go prepare a program. And in the program, you can go and choose the crop that you are looking for. You have a long list of crops. You can choose the crop, and you can use the crop as it is, or you can go and add it. You can take a crop that we have, and if you want to modify a bit, then you can make it by edit to go and modify a bit those recipes according to your needs or your growing conditions.
I have, no, not me, but Edward is asking. Something very specific, but maybe it's interesting for everybody. Strawberries. Do you have some experiences in zinc sulfate in strawberries?
Zinc.
Okay, actually we had up about two months ago, or even less. We have here a crop of strawberry that grow on the sandy soil, because as you know, strawberries are part in the region of the world that are growing on light sandy soil. And the trial that we had here was testing a combination of control release fertilizer as a pre-plant together with nutrigation. Just similar to the program that I show you regarding potato. And we found this combination as a winning one, because in this way we have on one side we have a buffer provided by the control release fertilizer. We have it there all along the growing season without suffering any losses of this reservoir. And in parallel, on the other side, we have nutrition. They can provide the right amount of elements that the crop is needed, and we can also control actually the growth, because we can apply more or less nutrition, and still we are having some control of the growth of the crop. Then we found this combination of control release fertilizer and irrigation about in proportion of 50-50% of the total amount of the requirement. We found it as a very, very successful combination and recommended.
Thank you. Well, there are some people here working with coffee or with vanilla. You have any experience in those crops?
On coffee and
vanilla?
Vanilla.
Vanilla?
Vanille בעברית.
Vanilla.
Okay, coffee, yes. In coffee, we are having with some trials and also actually application of control release in coffee, and also foliar nutrition with the Haifa bonus that's actually based on potassium nitrate. And we have, you can find even in the website, the trials results conducted mainly in Colombia on coffee, and then we have a very nice results in improving yield and quality of the coffee due to those applications.
Okay, and for vinyl, maybe it will be nice to visit Timor in Indonesia for you for the next experiments
Okay,
there.
then let's think about it.
There is a more commercial question, but maybe for everybody. How can everybody here knows to who they could contact if they have more questions? For example, Chile wants to know if you have a representative in Coquimbo in Chile, but maybe for everybody, how do they contact you?
Okay, actually, here in this presentation, we refer mainly to the agronomical topics, and we don't enter to some, corporate issues. But Haifa Group is a multinational company that has today about 20 offices all around the world. They're working through a very intensive distribution network, and in all about 90 up to 100 countries, you can find local distribution of Haifa. Now, you also, if you are having any problem to find it, we also installed quite recently in the Haifa web. You can find a tool that's called Dealer Locator. You can go there and use this dealer locator in order to find the dealers of Haifa in your place. Today, actually, we are having it for about 50 countries. They're working already, and we are continuing to install into this tool more and more countries. So this can help you to find the dealers of Haifa. But if you cannot find it through this, you can just send an email to the Haifa info, and we'll contact you and we'll make the connection and the right connection with the dealer.
Okay, friends, I think for sure there are some more questions, but we will stop here, and we will send you anyway the chat, so you will be able to answer more professional questions and specific questions that we have
Okay,
here.
then again, thank you all of you.
Thank you very much.
For your attendance, for me and for Aviel, and we will happy to assist and to serve you in the future and answer any question that you may have.
Shabbat
Thank you
shalom.
very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to all of you there. We have some representatives from our staff there working hard. So thank you. Yeah. Get to know Omer, and Yuval is behind the camera. Thank you so much. For you all friends, thank you for joining us. Please visit our Facebook page. There we have the last news of our next activities. You are also invited to contact us by email. We will put the address now in the chat anyway. And hope to see you in the next online lecture or field visit. All the best for everybody. Take care and keep healthy. Please, please. Shalom from Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom from Israel.